Spirit-Based Therapies here. Kicking off another week in the Archangel Spiritual Healing Pathway group. This week we are going to work with Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel presents as a beautiful deep blue colored light, and we're going to be working with the topic of birthing your soul, or soul birth. That's another way of saying it. And that wonderful inherent inside of his light, and that is peace. And that peace is really wonderful at being able to create a nice, quiet, and still environment for a birth to occur, for something that didn't exist before to come through to this reality and to take up space inside of this reality. Now, let me give you a bit of background information that Archangel Gabriel wanted me to pass on to you in regards to this topic today. And that is, he was saying, hi everybody, and was waving and blowing kisses, as Archangel Gabriel often does when I start to tune into him. He was saying that humanity has lived in a state of separation from soul. Okay, humanity has lived in a state of separation from soul within the ego for a really long time now. He actually was saying for eons of time. And he was then saying there are two things that he wants us to understand about this. The first is that matter and the material world, they are not separate to spirit at all. Spirit and matter within this material world are always connected. The second thing that he wants us to know is this, and that is, it is your experience as being a human and the way that you create your identity from your experiences, the way that your ego creates its identity from your experience, that you believe that separation between spirit and matter exist. Okay, but in summary, it is the experience that the separation exists. Okay, that becomes part of your identity, part of your belief, part of your personal truth. But the reality is that spirit and matter are not separate. Okay, so it's only within our human identity and our human experiences that separation exists. All right, well done for sticking in there with me for that. So he was then going on to say that the separation you experience between your human identity and the spirit, or your soul, that separation, it's like a really thick, heavy wall. And for many people, that wall is so big and huge, and most of us wouldn't even know it's there. It's just part of our experience, and that we have no idea that this wall exists at all. But beyond that wall, Archangel Gabriel is saying that there are many aspects of our soul self which would love to be able to move in to our experience of ourself as a human, and therefore become more a part of our human identity. So when aspects of your soul self actually make their way through that wall, they actually make their way through that illusion of separation and start to become part of the human experience of self, that is basically the type of soul birth that Archangel Gabriel is talking about today. Okay, this is experienced as a birth. It's like something that seemingly didn't exist before, suddenly doesn't necessarily occur suddenly, but starts to become part of reality. It starts to become part of you. So There is a lot of birthing currently taking place in all of us at the moment. I'm seeing it clinically heaps. It shows up in many different ways. There are a lot of symptoms of it, and I'll talk more about those symptoms at the end of the week. Um, Often the process of birthing is occurring and it gets stuck, okay? And there are so many different ways in which it can get stuck. And I've actually been developing over the last couple of months a group healing sort of like membership in many ways, that I'm going to start running from the middle of this year. And we're going to in during that we're going to take a deep dive into what are some of the aspects of the human nature that we really need to bring spiritual healing to in order for more of our soul self and more of our spirit self to be part of our reality. Because it's when our soul self and our spirit self start becoming more a part of our reality that our actual physical, mental, and emotional, psychological health starts to really pick up. And yeah, I'm looking at doing this in a group way. So within these particular meditations that we do in the Archangel pathway group here, we are having a bit of a taste of spirit. We're doing a bit of a meditation with spirit, but that is very different to actually coming together as a group and then having my spirit healer team work on each of you during that session in a very specifically tailored way to meet your specific needs. And a few of the topics that we will be looking at, which are the reason I'm bringing that up, that are very relevant to today. There's a lot of the reasons why we get stuck in that birthing process of having parts of our soul move through the veil of separation and become more a part of our human experience and therefore our human identity. A big one is the genetic conditioning that we have, and that would be the first module that I would look at in the spiritual healing group that I'm looking to set up. And that is that we would have a really good look at what genetically inherited tendency means, the way that it presents for most of us. We would go in and do a healing together where my healing team would work on you individually to help reduce some of your genetically inherited baggage or tendencies, and then you would be given a exercise to keep working on that before we meet up again. So there is genetically inherited tendencies. Another major one is past life stuff, and we'd have a deep dive into that as well. Another one is traumas and triggers that we have from the experiences that we've had in this life. And so they're just a few that we would be looking at working with. Okay, so back to Archangel Gabriel. We are going to do a meditation with Archangel Gabriel today. We are going to bring in the blue healing light of Archangel Gabriel into our body. And Archangel Gabriel is going to support us with birthing more of our soul into our experience of ourself as a human being by by placing his beautiful light of peace into our body. So get yourself in whatever place and space you need to be in order to be able to give your attention over to my words as I call Archangel Gabriel into your body. I'd like you to begin by taking a few nice deep breaths where you breathe deeply into your belly, your chest expands, and you take your breath all the way up to your throat, and then you expel that breath just like that. I want you to do that 3 times in your own time. This will help you to just ground your presence into your body. It's a nice, gentle way to kickstart the meditation and to have you start to become more awake and aware to your body. Archangel Gabriel is presenting now. Archangel Gabriel is standing behind you. Archangel Gabriel is standing behind you in an angelic form. He has his wings stretched out nice and wide. He is radiating his blue light of peace. And he is taking his amazingly beautiful, gigantic wings and he is wrapping them around your body. By wrapping his wings around your body, Archangel Gabriel is starting to create more awareness inside of you of your body, of this vehicle through which you live and through which you have all these different experiences that then feed into your identity, your ego, your human knowing of self. Archangel Gabriel is standing behind you and he is wrapping his wings strongly around your body. And he is starting to send his blue light of peace into your body, and he is beginning with your heart. So imagine a single point of focus inside of your heart. Archangel Gabriel is radiating his blue light of peace in every single direction from this single point of focus in the center of your heart. Peace, incredible, enlivening, yet still, calming yet energizing peace from Archangel Gabriel is radiating in every single direction from a single pinprick of focus to merge and fill your entire heart space. As Archangel Gabriel's blue light of peace is filling your heart, the membranes in your heart, the membranes that are like this separation, this kind of boundary of separation between who and what you know yourself to be as human and who and what you know yourself to be as more than human. That membrane inside of your heart is just starting to be expertly adjusted by Archangel Gabriel. So a little bit more of who and what you know yourself to be as a soul can be experienced, can be known, can be felt inside of your heart. Archangel Gabriel is standing behind you. He is wrapping his wings around you. He is expanding his blue light of peace from a single point of focus in your heart in every single direction. And he is very gently, expertly thinning the membrane between the reality of who and what you are as a human to open up a little bit more to the reality of who and what you are as a soul. Archangel Gabriel is continuing to stand behind you, wrap his wings around you, and he is now taking his focus into your gut center, into the navel center. This navel center, I'm not talking about the navel chakra, I'm talking about the navel center, which is the center for the unconscious self. It is the center for the instinct. Archangel Gabriel is finding a single pinprick of focus behind your navel, and he is expanding his blue light of peace in every single direction to fill your navel center. And as Archangel Gabriel is filling your navel center with his blue light of peace, this peace that is very calming and still, yet still very active, this light which is very calming yet still incredibly energizing. This blue light of peace is filling your entire navel center, and it's starting to thin the membrane, thin the energetic membrane that exists between who and what you know yourself to be as a human, your human ego, your human identity, and who and what you know yourself to be as a soul, your soul self. This membrane is being expertly adjusted by Archangel Gabriel, so a little bit more of your soul self can flow through that membrane, make its way into your navel center, make its way into your experience of self, and then make its way into your identity. Archangel Gabriel is expanding his blue light of peace in and through your entire gut center. Taking your focus and attention into your brain, into the mind center, more related to our conscious level of self, more related to our thoughts. Taking your focus into there, there's a single pinprick in the middle of your brain from which Archangel Gabriel is radiating his blue light of peace in every single direction. This exquisite light of peace, it's very calming, yet it's quite energizing as well. It has an incredible stillness to it, but there is also a lot of activity and movement. It is quietening. It is so quietening that it enables you to start to get a sense and a knowing of the bigger picture of who and what you are. As Archangel Gabriel is sending his blue light in every single direction from a single pinpoint of focus inside of your brain, the membrane that exists between your human knowing of self, your more soul knowing of self, it's starting to be expertly adjusted by Archangel Gabriel, so that a little bit more of your knowing of self as a soul is able to move across the membrane, make its way into your human experience of self, and therefore make its way into your human identity. Archangel Gabriel is standing behind you. Archangel Gabriel has his wings wrapped around you. Archangel Gabriel is filling your whole body with peace. Archangel Gabriel is preparing you, preparing your psyche, that is your physical, psychological, mental and emotional levels of self, to receive more of your soul self, to pass over from the other side of separation into your experience of yourself. And that brings our meditation with Archangel Gabriel to an end for the moment. So just gently in your own time, transition from that space into the here and now, wherever you find yourself right now. Give me a little emoji or a little comment. Helps keep the group nice and alive. If you want to make sure that I notify you when I'm ready to set up my group program, it's going to be really fantastic. In our single sessions, we work on a lot of this stuff, but in the group program, I'm going to really help you to understand why it comes up over and over inside of all of us and help give you a few more tools to be more specifically working with it yourself between sessions. And you get a nice individualized healing from my team. All right, everybody, I'll be reminding you throughout the week to connect to Archangel Gabriel. Bye for now.